eventually you'll need a place where these businesses and these experts can collaborate together. But they're not going to be collaborating personally. They're going to be collaborating with the agents that they need and that they offer. So what we're building is a marketplace that allows this economy to thrive.
Today, I'm joined by Cien Solon for another episode. We're going to be unpacking Shien's background, how she came to founding Launch Lemonade, and what she envisions for the future. So look forward to this episode. Shien, good to have you here at Spotify Studios.
Richard, thanks for having me. This is so cool. I'm in Spotify. This is a milestone.
No, at all. It's great. Thank you for giving your time to, speak to our audience and kind of let them know about all the amazing things that you're doing. So let me introduce you, Shien, and then you can kind of carry on in terms of providing more context to what you do in your background. So Launch Lemonade empowers SMEs with no-code AI agents built for real businesses' needs, and they allow them to access ready-to-use agents that they can monetize with their businesses as well. Before we get into Launch Lemonade, can you just give us some background into who you are right up until the point of founding Launch Lemonade?
Sure. So I come from the Philippines, was born and raised in the Philippines, but my parents were very generous in terms of allowing me to pursue what I want to pursue. And I've always liked the internet and computers. So at 11, I started building websites using HTML and PHP. And I also started putting video clips together just using Microsoft tools. But I've always had that interest. And then I even pursued it in university. So I learned how to use all the tools from Final Cut to Adobe, build more websites, more like magazines and stuff. Now, I've been very clear about that is what my skills are. That's what I want to do. But I had a decade of, I'm just going to check out what life is about, explore the world. So I did a little bit of traveling. I lived in China, I lived in the States for a bit, and then I moved here. And that was when I was like, right, I've had a lot of fun. Now I want to really actualize my potential is what I always say. Let's see what I can do. And so I pursued digital. I had a few roles in digital transformation. I became a product owner, product manager, worked in financial services and fintech. And I started building AI solutions with a team of developers, whether that's a chatbot before ChatGPT, using the earliest versions of NLP, or fraud, credit, identity models. It doesn't sound fun, but I thought it was really cool. How can you use data to identify bad actors? I thought that was really cool. And I fell in love with it. I fell in love with the grind, delivering solutions. And and now I'm here.
Amazing. You just condensed probably
a
over
lifetime.
a decade, right? Or a lifetime in just kind of a few minutes just there. In terms of your international exposure and obviously your travel ahead of getting into digital, how do you feel like that influenced your journey to becoming a founder as well? What were you exposed to when you were in, the US and other countries that you just mentioned?
What stands out to me now is when I was living in China, they were so advanced when I was there. I think that must have been in 2012, 2013.
Okay.
And I was seeing people on the streets, like beggars, who had QR codes. And this was over a decade ago. They had QR codes with them. So you can tap and donate. And everything ran on their version of WhatsApp, Weixin, WeChat. And it was just incredible. And when I lived in the States as well, I got exposed to a different consumer culture. People cared. What really struck me when I lived in the States was how people cared about other people.
Okay.
I got surrounded by people who were working for NGOs and kind of this idea of helping the world or being something else or doing something to change the world.
And where were you in the States? Like what part of like the US? Or
I
did
was
you
in
travel
DC.
around? You was in DC. Okay.
Yeah, I was quite like I was so where I lived was in Upper Georgetown. So this is where kind of like old
Yeah.
ex-politicians
Yeah, yeah.
lived, leads of NGOs. So I guess that was kind of like my exposure. I didn't feel like I belonged, and so I left and moved to China. And then yeah,
Okay, it's a bit of a switch from DC to China.
Yeah.
And what part of China were you in?
I lived in 3 different cities. Hangzhou, which is a bit southeast. And then I lived in a place called Hefei, which was like up and coming city. And then I lived in an older city, an older town that became a city in the last 100 years, city called Shijiazhuang, like really kind of rural vibes, but like they were
Yeah.
growing. So I lived the different states, but I learned so much about their culture and different, experiences or how people use tech from groceries to shop. Like it just,
Yeah.
it really exposed me to a lot
So you
of
get
things.
that really early exposure of kind of like the advancements in technology over in China. Obviously, we can probably touch on DeepSeek in a second when we speak about LLMs and kind of like what's going on over there, because we actually don't actually know fully like what's being developed in that part of the world. Okay, so thanks for giving us that quick snapshot background. Bring us forward then in terms of working in product in the UK and kind of like that journey to solving the problem that's bringing you to launch Lemonade now. Like your exposure to product in the UK, how does that bring you to the point of founding Launch Lemonade?
Yeah, so I worked in fintech, which was the earliest adopters of AI. They use a lot of AI to make quick decisions. So you apply to use an application, and decision is made quickly. We used a lot of AI to do that, to see your risk appetite, or if you can afford to pay, or if you're a fraudster. So we use a lot of data to make these really quick decisions that help the business make better decisions as well. So better decisions, better customer experiences, and quick decisions. And I fell in love with just how a business can use data to get to profitability and actually build an amazing business. And delivering all of these solutions and seeing the result, whether it's increase in resolution rate, or happier customers or revenue, I was like, wow, like data can do a lot of things. And I became adept at understanding how to use that into a narrative to help businesses. And that's how I got kind of like really good at not just finding the solutions, but building a story around it, getting people's buy-in, and making people understand that data is good.
Yeah. Okay, great. And just speak to a bit more about kind of moving from the corporate employee to taking that leap of faith, because a lot of people will be watching or listening to this and thinking of, they're an employee, they're quite entrepreneurial in their day jobs. Kind of like, what has taken you to that leap to becoming a founder of Launch Lemonade from being a product IC?
I get asked this question a lot, and I think it was definitely midlife crisis.
Okay.
Like there was a year when I just decided to shake my life up, and I gave up the amazing job. Like I really had fun in that startup role. There were a startup that got to Series B in just a couple of years,
Yeah.
and I looked after growth and decisioning, saw the growth from a wait list
Yeah.
when I joined to becoming a unicorn
Yeah.
after a couple of years. I had a fun job. And I had a marriage as well. And then that year, I think that was definitely my midlife crisis year. I was like, I'm not happy here. I'm not happy there. Let's do something else. And then I tried different things, but I definitely knew I wanted to build something because ChatGPT came out the same year.
Oh, okay.
I was like, something's happening here. I don't know what. I can't explain it. Let me try this. Let me try that. Nothing worked. I even went into poetry. And I was like, but obviously that was a hobby. So I tried so many things that year. And then I did hackathons at my house, at friends' house. Like I would just do like, let's build something. I even met my co-founder now, basically because I told people I want to build something. I want to meet people who want to build something. I have an idea who's a good person to meet. and then eventually landed on Launch Lemonade.
Amazing. Big tip that you've actually just dropped for a lot of our audience is the fact that you gained experience at a startup and you saw how a startup, grew and worked and evolved. So that's advice that we pass on to that person that is actually thinking about taking that leap out of corporate, is potentially just work for a startup, right? If you don't want to take that big leap, it's kind of like a smaller step to fully understanding. I've worked under from a pre-seed to kind of like a Series A to acquisition startup as well, and I kind of like got that experience and seeing a founder kind of like growth and raise and all the things. So it's like working, it's like a mini MBA per se, right? In terms of like working at a startup.
Yeah, if you come from corporate and
Yeah.
and there's no kind of like you're working in silo, like loads of processes. You don't see kind of the messy bits or firefighting. And you jump into startup world and becoming a founder, you're gonna be in for a huge awakening. That
Yes.
exposure really helped me a lot.
Okay. It was interesting to find that OpenAI was a catalyst for your
It really was.
yeah, that point as well, that point of inflection. So let's take us up to Launch Lemonade. We want to speak about all the things about what you're founding, what you're building, what you're raising for actually currently right now as well. So bring me to life and what problem you're solving for to start off with Launch Lemonade.
We're hearing this every day. Businesses, enterprises, the big four or whatnot are letting go of people. They're letting go of experts. Now, by 2030, the more over the next few years, the more experts are going to be let go of, the more experts are going to productize their expertise. They're going to turn themselves into agents. So, and we're seeing this already. We're seeing experts building agents and they sell it to these enterprises and other businesses. So, as that evolves, businesses will want to continue buying agents, but they don't want just agents. They want agents that actually work for their business. So they're going to want to buy from these experts because they are the experts of that field and of that industry and of that role. So eventually, you'll need a place where these businesses and these experts can collaborate together. But they're not going to be collaborating personally. They're going to be collaborating with the agents that they need and that they offer. So what we're building is a marketplace that allows this economy to thrive. People, experts, are going to keep participating in the economy. They're going to future-proof their livelihood by earning in this economy. You got businesses who will be buying from the best, from experts, not just from companies that are building it, who are making assumptions of what work looks like. They're going to be buying from the experts who actually know what to do.
Okay, great. And so you've done a lot of analysis, you've done a lot of research. You sat in this space for a long time. You become a thought leader and a spokesperson, in this space as well. You're very active online. So let's speak about Launch Lemonade and how you're building it and how you're taking it to market and kind of like what segment you're going after as well.
So I've been bootstrapping for the past almost 2 years now. It's crazy.
Okay.
It's almost 2 years. And when we started talking about AI enablement for non-technical small to medium-sized businesses, I had no idea what that ICP was. Because in 2023, that persona didn't understand what AI was. It was like their understanding of AI was a chatbot on a website. They weren't even that exposed to ChatGPT yet. They just use it as Google at the most. And so I thought that if I do market research, I'll be wasting my time because market research validates a problem they want to solve and maybe a potential solution that solves that problem. Now, SMBs have problems. We know that. There are many types of problems. But the question that I had is, without funding or a marketing budget, how quickly can I validate that this idea will resonate with my target persona without knowing exactly who that, like what industry they're in, what role they do? So I started going to market, building in public, and just doing founder-led marketing. Talked about the solution. I was quite intentional about how I spoke about it, how I positioned the product, that it will solve marketing problems, it will scale your team. And so we started attracting naturally and organically 3 personas that we're going to be focusing on. They've driven the most LTV, and they're the most active. Got training providers, knowledge-based consultants, knowledge-based services. Like you've got your growth strategist, your business strategist, and then you've got your kind of like marketing agency,
Yeah.
who weren't actually the earliest adopters because in the beginning marketing agencies were like, no, this is AI generated, we're not going to do that.
Yeah.
But actually they've become the best adopters of AI because they were able to scale what they already know. These three personas are the best users of AI, and they're also mini growth engines
Got you.
because they manage a portfolio of clients.
Yeah.
They use it for themselves, and then they also teach their clients to use it.
Sure.
So not only are we acquiring the best customers, but they're bringing in customers for us.
Okay.
So in the next phase of Launch Lemonade, over the past 2 years, we were like founder-led, build in public, collect data while we're earning.
Yeah.
Because usually you collect data and then you start making money.
Yeah.
What we did was, let's collect data while we're earning. We got to about, October was our best month, 20,000 in revenue. We're like, let's collect data while we're earning, and then let's then decide who this ICP is. And we found these three personas, and then we're going to go strong on this market initially, and then expand as we get more data.
Incredible. I'm just going to myth bust ideal client profile, ICP, for those that are watching and want to come at Google. And you spoke very clear about the personas that you're going after, and obviously you're communicating that to potential investors now and kind of like really clarifying, kind of like what segments you're going after, and that's like super clear. And I think that's really important for a founder to know initially. You built in public. Like, we speak about that quite a lot. It's actually very, very risky building in public because there's kind of like all of the, there's, leakage in terms of your ideas, and then there's kind of like failures that you're kind of like experiencing in real time, and kind of like you're working with that. I've seen you do that for the benefit of the business, and you've built a community around that as well, right? It's attracted, different people, different kind of personas into that community, which has been really good and testament to yourself. You're very public as well. You've got different types of founders that are maybe some, heads down, a bit quiet, and you don't hear anything. LinkedIn would just be in stealth, whereas you've kind of like been very loud and open. Would you say as a founder that's part of your personality, or have you kind of like intentionally made that kind of made that task, like you brought that upon yourself to be that way?
I'm not sure if it's right to say that it's part of my personality because it's hard.
Sure.
I intentionally grew my confidence, my exposure, built relationships to be, where I'm at today. I'm nowhere near where I want to be, but I think it was strategically done for the business. I knew it was the cheapest way to go to market.
Yeah.
I knew it was the easiest way for me to go to market given that I don't have funding. And so I was like, I'll do it for the business.
Yeah.
That was always, I was very clear about that. I wish it was part of my personality. I wish I was more public before building and built that community before I built. I think if I could give advice to anyone is build the community first, then build. That is one of my regrets is I wish I was more public. I cringed at social media before. I was one of those, like, I'm never going to get on TikTok. I'm never going to do Instagram, like I'll just do kind of like cool stuff.
Yeah.
I regret it so bad. I wish I did more social.
Okay. I never saw it that way as a kind of like in the audience. I saw that, you're doing a lot of social, but obviously there was a path to get there before you got there. But yeah, I've always seen you as that kind of like social media, like really out there, which I like as a profile from a founder as well. You kind of like just spoke about kind of like doing what you do first. Kind of like a lot of founders, obviously I like founders, I invest in founders that kind of like are able to build, bootstrap, show the revenue, and kind of like see that worth before they start, giving out equity to investors and VC. Kind of like you just mentioned that you kind of like you would have hoped to have done it the community building first, and kind of like then kind of like built. That's interesting that you said that, because I feel like you've done it in a really good way, and big testament to yourself as well for having that monthly reoccurring revenue is really, really big that you just mentioned. In terms of Launch Lemonade, like what's the next steps for yourselves and the business?
The next steps for us is to build a secure marketplace where agents can collaborate and transact. And we're not only just building a marketplace, but we're also building a place where businesses can securely build their AI agents team. And what I mean by securely is I'm not just talking about I'm not just talking about encrypted experiences. I'm not just talking about what we have now, for example, which is a protection from prompt injections. I'm talking about value aligned agents that can do credibility checks with
Yeah.
each other.
Yeah.
And this is what we're building.
Okay.
So the next phase for us is to launch this marketplace and get more people who are experts, who are now becoming small to medium-sized businesses, the training providers, the knowledge-based services, the marketing agencies, to start participating in this economy so that they can future-proof their businesses, and to get more businesses to grow an AI team that not can only do things, but can do things securely and are value aligned with their business.
Amazing. So let's bring this to life now. Some of the audience, this might be quite far-fetched, this conversation about, building agents and agents talking to each other and actually building businesses and helping businesses grow. Give me some examples of some of the ICPs that are on Launch Lemonade and what they've done in terms of like building on the platform. Just give me some like really real examples of, a specific person that's built and what they have built and what the benefit has been.
Oh, I have so many, but
Give me the most basic example, just for our audience.
Yeah. So this builder stands out because he talks to me every day. He's a professor. He's a professor in Texas, and when he started using Launch Lemonade, he just entered a competition that I said, see what you can solve with this platform, and then record a TikTok and then send it over to me. That was his entry point to all things kind of AI. He was a ChatGPT user, and then he entered the competition, and then he kind of just went crazy from there. So he not only started building, but he booked coaching sessions with me.
Okay.
And we've been working together for the past 6 months.
And what was this person's technical knowledge as well? It's
None.
quite important. So, so this person he wasn't a coder. The platform is a no-code platform and kind of like didn't have a strong technical background.
He was a professor in some social, I forgot the right term, but in humanities.
Okay, and he knew what he wanted to achieve.
Not necessarily. He was just like, I just need to upskill myself and try to understand what this thing is as a professor, because he's just curious. He's a curious person.
Okay.
But he had no technical know-how.
And he found you on socials?
He found me on socials, found my competition, and entered it. And then now, over the last 6 months, he's been working hard to like reposition his offering. He quit his job. And then he started like building a product around AI. He started building for businesses, and he started selling his expertise to universities as a AI expert.
Oh, wow, okay.
Specifically in the beginning in social, but now he's talking to different universities. And now he sent me a proposal last night to offer Launch Lemonade to universities. And I was like, you're not just offering Launch Lemonade, you're offering your expertise as a builder, because you know how to customize agents for that university in a secure and safe way.
Okay.
And now he's planning a conference in DC in early next year.
Yeah.
I mean, that's incredible.
That's incredible.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
No AI experience, no tech experience, was just curious, quit his job. And then now, and he was really worried. He was like, I don't know what to do. Like, I want to do all of these things. Do I learn AWS? Do I I was like, no, you have you're an expert at something.
Yeah.
But how do you then turn that into some sort of AI service or product?
Amazing.
And he's just gone away with it.
Incredible. Love that example that you've just given. Do you have any examples more on the creative side in terms of like the marketing areas? Because I think that's quite, it's a big area right now where automation and marketing is obviously coming to the fore. If you've got any examples that we can bring it to life that maybe some of our audience would be more familiar with.
Two of our earliest adopters of our white label solution, where you build an agent or an assistant and then you white label it and you brand it as your own. You start selling it to users, are marketing services. One in pet business and the other in travel agency.
Okay.
So you got these two people who know marketing for a specific niche, and they were like, you know what, I'm going to create marketing tools for these people. And then they white labeled it, and then they started monetizing it. And then the pet business owner right now is she gets invited to speak about AI now.
Wow.
So when she joined us, she was one of our first users. I knew she's always curious. When she first joined us, I think our offering was like £5 then to build. This was like a couple years ago. She knew nothing about AI, but she booked calls with me, attended all my master classes, and now she's invited by banks to speak about AI, or like pet business conference to speak about AI. And she has her own business now, building for others. The travel agency one, I think she just went away with it as well, and she's been talking about AI in marketing. She's built the product that's monetizing. I think she's optimizing now. And I'm pretty sure she entered a couple of competitions.
Okay.
I think she won one competition.
Yeah.
So yeah, you've got these personas who knew nothing and are becoming experts, but in a specific industry and niche.
And you know what specific agent they built, or like what the usage of the agent was for either for the pet business or the travel business?
It's very simple. Like this pet business, she just advertised an offering to help pet business owners improve their websites so that they can be discoverable on ChatGPT and Gemini and Claude.
Okay.
So like AEO. So, and the strategy is to build blogs and website content that AI would like.
Yeah.
It's very simple. It's pretty much like content marketing, but like repackaged and then scaled using AI.
So the future of what was like search engine optimization for optimization for LLMs, right?
Exactly.
And how they're indexing these different websites. Okay.
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, great. So thanks for providing those two examples. It'd be great to share some case studies as and when, because I think that's what really brings it to life. I think this topic about, agentic and building AI agents is kind of like, it's far-fetched to a lot of the audience, right? Because
it still is.
There's a lot of buzzwords and all the things, but I think when we see and hear about the real use cases, I think it really brings it to life on how people can actually adopt that themselves. So let's talk about the business. On Launch Lemonade, you're currently so you've bootstrapped for all this time. Monthly recurring revenue is very healthy at the moment and very impressive. You're now raising. Why have you chosen to raise? Who are you raising from? And all the things. Give us some background, because this topic is very pertinent for a lot of people.
Yeah, we're raising for the mission. If I just wanted money, if I just wanted cash and be comfortable, go on holidays, I could just go on and see, just keep pushing as I am.
Carry on pushing and get that MRR up.
Yeah. And I'll be comfortable.
Yeah.
But I'm racing for that mission and the vision to not just, I don't like the word protect, but that's what's coming to me, is to protect the livelihoods of many whose jobs are going to be displaced and wouldn't know what to do because they're experts, but they don't know how to digitalize their expertise in a secure and fair way. And I also don't like the idea of a conglomerate of just one entity that will control the space. And I'm racing for that vision, is that there has to be a place where people can still participate because they have agents that monetize for them, that businesses can choose the right agents from the experts that have built them, that used to work for them. And that's how we get to participate in this economy. I refuse to believe that an OpenAI or just Google will just launch the agents where businesses will buy.
Yeah.
Well, what about the rest of us? Like, how will we participate in that economy? So I'm racing for that mission. And the 300K is just a start of us being able to build a capability out to get us started. We are going to raise a seed round to go to market and grow. But yeah, that's what I'm raising for.
Incredible. And kind of like, just another question as well is kind of like where you take money from. So this is kind of like a pre-seed round. It's kind of like you're pitching it, kind of like it's the first round initially. You don't have a lead investor in this round. It's like a pool of angels. How have you been able to promote the round, get those angels on board? You're nearly at capacity for that round that you've just mentioned right now. Like, just give us some tips and advice. I know you're big on social media anyway, so there's a lot of inbound that comes in that way. But like, how have you been able to do that? Because a lot of founders do ask. It's difficult to raise in this climate.
Yeah.
So yeah, give any tips that you can to prospective founders.
It is hard. This is the hardest thing that I've ever had to do.
Okay.
I think in the kind of like founder life, but because I was active in social, I attracted champions. And also I leaned on to the people I already knew.
Yeah.
Like Andy and my friend Tim. I was like, how do I meet these people who are who would believe in me and who would want to invest? So one, be active on social and talk about your growth and also building in public. It doesn't sound easy, but it's doable and cheap.
Yeah.
If there's one thing that you can do now, that would be that. Second is look in your immediate network and see who has the most connections and ask them, how can I build the same relationship with the network that you have?
Yeah.
And take their word for it. It would be ask for a cup of coffee and then keep nurturing that relationship. That's number 3. And I think number 4 is, unfortunately, luck is, I think, on my side. Sometimes I feel like I'm the luckiest girl on earth, because like I get introduced to the most incredible, amazing people, and I'm not gonna like say you need to be lucky, but I say you need to start surrounding yourself with people who can bring you that luck. Because if you surround yourself with people who perceive themselves as unlucky and not have the right network, you're never gonna get to the people that you need to get to. So I think that is my advice. And be nice. Like, you have to be nice.
Yes.
Yeah, because if you're a dickhead or an asshole, I mean, I'm sure it works for other people, but not for the people that I want to attract.
100%. Totally agree. Thanks for sharing that advice. It's really, really great. Just to round out now, just like thinking about the future of not just AI, but obviously Launch Lemonade as well. There's a lot of talk about being in a hype cycle right now. And, I'm kind of like seeing it, some crazy valuations that are happening, some crazy rounds, Series A, Series B rounds are just astronomical at the moment. What's your opinion and thoughts around, are we in a hype cycle right now? Do you feel like there's a big crash that's about to come maybe in 2026 or further and beyond? And how do you feel you're protecting Launch Lemonade's moat around all of this that's happening as well?
I'll answer the second question first. The answer to that is we're people first. Like, we want to protect the people. We are building for the people. We're not building for the valuation even. Like, we're fairly valued. And it does annoy me that some of these companies are like insanely valued pre-seed, pre-revenue. But so that is our moat, is we're human-led, people first. And we're allowing small to medium-sized businesses that are powered by the people to participate in that economy. From an AI perspective, this hype bubble thing, we've been talking about this for the past year. Ever since ChatGPT came out, it's like it's hype. There's gonna be a hype cycle. In every economy, there is some sort of burst, like the internet, and so I think that when it comes to valuation, maybe those companies that have overvalued themselves are gonna burst. But how we work will change. Whether these companies that are overvalued will thrive or not, some of them might fail and some of them might win. But the truth is, and this is not hype, is the world has changed forever.
Yeah.
How I work changed. I'm sure how you work changed, even if you're just using ChatGPT. And that's just gonna scale and scale. Income is revenue may be a different conversation, but from a productivity perspective, from collaboration perspective, from monetization perspective, these things are just will change.
Amazing. Okay, great. Thanks for giving us some insight into that. And like, what does the next, just to round out, what does the next 3 to 5 years look like for Launch Lemonade? Like, where do you see it going, and where would you ideally kind of like think about the next phase of Launch Lemonade as well?
I always compare ourselves to WordPress.
Okay.
I mean, they, you know, like you say WordPress, like you don't think they're cool, like they're old, they're
They facilitated so many different types of businesses, though, right? It's been the entry point, the access point for sure.
almost
Yeah.
50% of the world's websites. Maybe less now with like the likes of Lovable, but
Yeah.
if you think about it, like they changed how the world works
Yeah.
in the website, and they impacted SEO. Like right now, if you want to build a website that's discoverable on AI, you want to build it on WordPress because they have kind of like the best features to allow you to do that, the easiest way to do that as well. And then you have the likes of Squarespace and Wix
Yeah.
that also won. And that's going to be the next 3 to 5 years for us is, you know, I don't envision to be the only place that allows people to build. There should
There's
be.
going to be other,
yeah.
yeah.
But I envision that we're going to be the easiest place where experts can participate, where small to medium-sized businesses that are offering high-value work and services right now, they'll transform their expertise, their services into agents, and businesses will want to buy from these experts. 3 to 5 years, that's how we envision we grow.
And what's your exit strategy for Launch Lemonade, or do you foresee it continuing on, and you as yourself as a founder as well in the future? Like, what you planning, what you telling investors?
By 2030,
Yeah.
that is when I envision for us to IPO.
Okay, amazing. Any lasting thoughts or comments? Where can people find you?
I'm everywhere.
Future included. Please list out all of the socials and your domain as well.
So there's my channel, Shien AI, on YouTube. I'm even on Spotify. I'm also on TikTok. Please follow me on TikTok. With LinkedIn, Instagram, and Threads. And then Launch Lemonade is also on all of those channels. If you look for launchlemonade.app and Shien AI on your favorite channels, you'll find me there.
Shien, this has been incredible. We love hearing about all of the things you're building for the future of everyone, and enabling that access to come down and making that entry point so much easier for SMBs as well in particular. We'll definitely be on Launch Lemonade, checking out all the things that we can build on there. But yeah, we'll engage, and please drop Shien a message if you want to jump onto the platform, or if you want to just educate. That's one thing I found out about as well. It's not just the building piece, it's the education piece as well. Thanks for listening. It's been another episode of Future Included podcast. Until next time, we'll see you soon.